Alright, so we're back in the world of Expedition 33, and in today's video, guys, I'm going to be showing you my nuclear damage Lune build. I've seen a lot of videos recently going over her, and I've noticed that their damage in most of those videos have been very much lower than what I can do with my Lune. She is by far my personal favorite character, and she has really good AoE compared to most of the other characters with almost all her abilities. And with the synergies with Elemental Trick as well as Elemental Genesis, she actually deals some pretty insane AoE damage that can overpower just short of every single enemy, including the hardest Endless Tower, as well as just short of everything I've ever fought in the game. If you want your opponents to actually feel the rage of a mage, then this build is going to be perfect for you. Let me show you how to make this build. Alright guys, so as you saw in the intro, we're going to be going over my Lune build, and I want to first say I really love this outfit, and I really like her as a character. She's my favorite character in Expedition 33, and I really want to make a build around her, and so yeah, we're going to be doing that with her today. So first things first, let's talk about her weapon, because that's going to be relatively important, because you can get quite a bit more out of her damage depending on the weapon you use, and we're going to be using the Scaverim. And what this weapon does is it has a 50% chance to generate a dark stain whenever consuming stains, and then you deal 50% more damage with the skill per active dark stain, and this is going to just give you a pretty big increase in damage. You also get a benefit from your base attack. I haven't been able to really make that work just yet in terms of like fitting into her build, but you can do that as well. And if you somehow get lucky or something somehow can survive with you having 4 dark stains somehow, any skill that consumes this will also get another 300% increase in its damage. I very seldomly have ever seen this proc, so maybe there's a way to make that work, but generally speaking, her damage is so incredibly high that she just kills everything anyway without this, and this really complements her, especially considering how much power it actually generates. Is a really strong weapon. Now when it comes to her skills, there's really not too much that goes along with it. You only need 2, Elemental Trick and Genesis. A lot of times this is all you really need because, well, Elemental Genesis is an overwhelming amount of damage and it just straight up kills everything. So anything else you put on her bar is going to be optional, but for the most part this is all you really need. I guess the other ones I would probably recommend is Wildfire is a good one for AoE clear, and then maybe sometime having Thermal Transfer could be another good option depending on where you are in the game. This is a little bit closer to in-game, but yeah, this is kind of how I would set it up. When it comes to our Pictos, what we have here is Marking Break, Cheater, and Shortcut. If you're using Mayhem sometimes, which you probably will sometimes, you can break enemies with it, and it's kind of helpful, but for the most part, you don't really need it. I really only got it for the speed and the crit, and these were only ones that really mattered to me for the most part, because she is a little bit hungry on her Luminous. So yeah, that's why we're picking it up. And then for our Luminous specifically, we're going to go to our active. I'm gonna have everything on the screen that you can pick up, and I'll just go over them briefly just so you know the most important ones. Literal most important one in this entire setup is going to be auto death. Now the reason for this is simple. Lune doesn't have a way to lower her HP, and the only way to lower your HP is to make her die. When you use this in combination with Survivor, this is going to save you from dying with 1 HP, and this essentially puts you in the 1 HP state, which is going to proc all the other benefits, especially the things that make it so that whenever you're lower than 50%, you get more damage, you get more crit, things like that. So that's the most important synergy here. Besides that, for the most part, everything else is just grabbing offensive stuff. Glass Cannon, Immaculate, Longer Powerful, Powerful and Shell, SOS Shell, Solidify. Versatile can be okay. You can realistically take Versatile out. I was just testing some other stuff. But for the most part, everything you see here you can keep in, because this is just going to make it so that you can just deal a ton of damage. And the energizing stuff is actually pretty nice with her, because she does need a little bit of mana to be able to cast her skills. So you're going to need maybe like 1 or 2 energizing start. So I got 2 energizing start, I have Energy Master, and then I have energizing rush, and this is going to give me enough AP to be able to get all my attacks off to do the setup. For Sciel, we're going to be using Lit the Sun. This is just going to give her, well, let me put it up here. What this does is just going to give you more rush, like greater rush for your allies whenever you're in the moon phase, and it's going to slow enemies whenever you're in your sun phase. When you're in Twilight, it does both of those things. And then whenever you apply a buff on an enemy, on the ally, you're going to get 3 AP. Or if you debuff an enemy, you'll get 3 AP. So it just makes her super good at being able to sustain. Now the things that really matter on her setup is Fortune Fury. and Intervention. Fortune Fury is going to just double the damage of an ally, and then Intervention is going to force the ally to get more AP and is going to force them to play their next turn. Besides that, she needs literally nothing else, and that's really all she needs, and she's good to go. In terms of her attributes, we're just going to scale it with the weapon. It's going to be 99 on Vit, 99 on Might, 99 on Agility, and then our attack power is 14, 5, 24, which is a pretty big number. I don't think I've seen any other character with this much, but she does do a lot of damage. And next we're going to go over just kind of how to play the build and, you know, just use it in action. So we're going to come here, use our trial, and we're going to come down all the way to the biggest trial that we can do, at least what I think we can do at this point. So she's going to play first. You can see there, because she died and Savior saved her, she's going to get all her benefits. So now she has max crit and all this extra damage. So we're going to Elemental Trick, and this is going to force that. There we go. And we can just skip her turn here at this point. From here, we're going to go with Fortune Fury. And then after that, we're going to go into Intervention. Put it on her. And she has 50% increased damage from her shield. You can get way more shields if you have Mael there. So have Mael play next. Do the little shield thing, and then Virtuoso stance, and you'll give her more shields. So she'll get like 40% more damage if you wanted to. I'm gonna assume you guys don't do that playstyle. Not like we need it. So we're gonna Elemental Genesis, and then as you can probably tell, we're just dealing some insane damage numbers. Everything dies, nothing lives, and that's pretty much a wrap. We'll do it again on another enemy for the sake of the video. So put it on this guy real quick. Hopefully they don't die.
Let's push forward.
So skip the turn. Fortune Fury. Where's her turn?
That hurts.
Elemental Genesis, and everything dies. And that's just the game, man. Nothing gets to live and nothing gets to play. But yeah, that is pretty much it for this one, guys. Hopefully you like the build. This is just, I mean, just straightforward. Elemental Genesis does so much damage that it's just overwhelming. And it just feels like a really fun build to play, because you get to cast a lot of spells and you have elemental weaknesses. There's so much more you can do with this to really make it do more damage, but I don't feel like you need it because everything dies anyway. But yeah, anyway, hopefully you guys liked the video. Leave me a like, all that good stuff. Subscribe, you know. I'm going to be doing more builds. Probably going to do like Minoko next or something, because he gets literally no love on YouTube. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one very soon.